Hey guys, and welcome back to the Crazy Cozy Corner. I'm Brianna, and this is the Crazy Cozy Corner. For no reason, this is the Crazy Cozy Corner, because we're not in the normal corner. But this week, we are doing a little something new, and it's going to be pulling out of the TBR box and getting books to read. And hopefully knocking down my physical TBR. Fingers crossed. But yeah, so the footage is a little weird because I accidentally started this video without meaning to, and so let's get into that. Hey guys, so I had a little acts of purpose happen. So I got a new library card, which opened up more books to me. And so I ended up listening to the audiobook of The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, which was on my to be read list of my physical copies. But I got my little hands on an audiobook so I could not actually flip through the book and I could just listen to it as I went throughout my day, because it was only like 4 hours long. And so I finished that really quick because I'll listen to it as I drive or if I'm cleaning around the house or whatever I need to do. And so I ended up reading that. So that knocks us down to 69 books. Nice. And so I thought I'd talk about it because I didn't plan on reading it, and it doesn't conform with my idea for like drawing out of it. So hopefully this is the only one that I kind of break the rules for, but we'll see. It's fine. I've read the book finally. I'm gonna keep it because I have a thing about having an entire series together. And is it something that I'll read again? Maybe. But keeping the series like all together makes me a happy little camper. So until I'm ready to unhaul it, I'm gonna keep it because it makes, like I said, it makes me happy. But anyways, the book is, we're following Bree. And it's funny because I'm Brianna, so I was like, this is really weird because this is not how I react to being turned to a vampire, but that's fine. Everything's fine. But we're following Bree Tanner. She had just been turned into, or when you get into the book, she's about 3 months old from when she turned into a vampire. And really quickly, we get introduced to this male character. Is his name Diego? I think his name's Diego, and they kind of get to know each other, and it's like they're different. They can think, and when they talk together, they are able to start piecing things together that just don't seem right. Like, why is Riley so weird? And yeah, I'm gonna spoil. I mean, you know what happens to her in the end if you've read the Twilight series or watched the movies. But I guess you don't know how it gets there. But anyways, they find out that Riley had been lying to them about them being able to be like out in the sun because they just glitter. But Riley had told them, all the newborns, that if they go out in the sun, they will explode and have a fiery death and everything. And so they find out that he's been lying, and they couldn't decide if it was like he knew that he was lying or he just was like he assumed because of all the lore behind vampires, right? And so Diego and Riley, no, not Riley, Bree. Diego and Bree are kind of just trying to figure some things out. Anyways, they end up kind of like falling in love pretty quick, but they follow Riley when he's going to meet Victoria, and they overhear some things, but Diego really trusts Riley. He was wrong to, but yeah, so Diego sent Bree back to the little coven, and he waited to kind of confront Riley, but be like, hey, did you know that like we could actually be out in the sun? And Riley takes him back to Victoria, and they like rip him apart piece by piece and burn him, and like to extract information so that Riley can say something to Bree that would make her trust him that Diego was okay. But Diego's dead. Like, he didn't live much longer. after being tortured, right? Because you can't get your body parts back from the fire. So that was sad, but I really thought it was interesting how she, like, at the end was using her memories and everything, projecting to Edward, because they go into the fight and everything, and yeah, she plays dumb to the Volturi, but like, oh yeah, and apparently the Volturi went and warned Victoria that she had like 5 days to like attack the Cullens, but then they'd have to come enforce their laws. It was like, that's crazy. That's crazy. They wanted the Cullens to be slimmed down because their coven is weird to them because they can create actual bonds. But yeah, so she dies in the end. And I liked how calm she was about it. Not that, like, but what, I don't know how I would have felt if she was like freaking out, but she was like, I guess I'm not living, it's fine. Like, she was very blasé. I think that would be a correct term for that. But yeah, so that was the first book that I read off my physical TBR, and I like, so I got to listen to the audiobook, but I also got to pull the book off the shelf and look through it to make sure, like, to kind of keep up when I was able to sit down and look at it. But yeah, so that was The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner by Stephanie Meyer. Okay, so a few important things. So I need to add a few new books to my physical TBR box, but also I'm going to visit my friend this weekend, and I might have time to read, I might not, so I was gonna choose a book or two from the box, but I wanted to show you the books that I was adding. So I have them written down, but got The Chemist by Stephanie Meyer. I got this from my local library. They were selling it in their little bookshop, so I was able to get it for like $1.25, which was super exciting. And look, it's large print. I got this book, The Bondage Breaker. I'm super excited about this one. It actually looks really interesting. Okay, so we'll pull those to the side. I got this, The Book of Cold Cases. I got this from a garage sale for $3, and it made me very happy because it's hardcover, and it's, like, it looks interesting, so I'm very interested to see how I'll like it. I also got this from the same garage sale and the next one after, Where Crawdads Sing. This was a recommendation from someone who came to my graduation, and they said this was a good one, so I want to check it out. I haven't seen the movie or anything, so. And also, there's The Keeper of the Night, which looks super interesting. So those are the ones being added. All right, that's just 5, 2, 4, 5. Yes, okay, cool. But also, so I already have Once Upon a Broken Heart, but I couldn't resist. I got the entire series in like pink, and it made me super happy. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the original book like this, but I have it in pink now, and it makes me happier. So I don't know, but I'm gonna tear these up, or like tear these apart and add them in, and then draw one and see how long that one is, because I don't want to put like 2 super long ones in my bag. But I'm driving, so I could, but I'd rather focus on hanging out with my friend than reading, because I'm traveling to see her, so yeah. Okay, so opening this up, here are the new books. And Time Traveler's Wife. I'll draw one more so that I can have something to choose from. And Midnighters. All right, those are some good options. Yeah, let's pull them. All right, so here's the 2 books. I actually know more about this book than I know about this one, so we shall see.
The Time Traveler's Wife is about 530 pages, 531 to be exact. And The Midnighters, let's see, is this a part of the book? Yeah, it is about 330. Straight into the point. So these I will bring with me in case we go to a coffee shop and read together or something. So now, even though I had knocked a book off the TBR and moved it to 69, it is now up to 74 with my 5 new books. But hopefully this weekend we can knock some off. We shall see. Also, it's my friend's birthday, so I got her this little gift thing. So I got us these matching reindeers so that she has matching decor with me when Christmas time comes around, because it's my favorite time of the year and I know she likes it too. These are some baby's breath that I dried myself, and so that makes it a little bit more meaningful, I think. I got her this one. It's a cozy fantasy, Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. I loved this book, and I think this would be up her alley. I got her favorite chips. Unfortunately, they didn't have the blue variety, which is her favorite, but she does like Takis, so I guess that will have to do. But then there's this tiny little candle. It's so tiny, and she likes tiny things, and so I'm gonna give her that. But I'll also give her a real big candle. And they're, of course, fall scented, because she once told me that when she smells pumpkins, like the pumpkin scented stuff, she thinks of me. And so I'm a little weird. I'm like, I'll get you pumpkin stuff so you can think of me. And then I got this little Cocoa Paradise, little sparkly spray, and then some nice eucalyptus mint hand soap. Yeah. And this, I got this nice basket for the stuff to go in. So yeah, that's for her this weekend because it's her birthday this week. So I just realized that Midnighters is actually a second book in the series of the Midnighters. So I will not be starting with that book because I have not read the first one. So when I get home, we're gonna have to pick another book to bring. Okay, so like I was saying, the Midnighters is unfortunately the second book in the series, and I didn't realize that. I didn't also check it very well, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab another one. Okay, let's see. Oh, all right. We're throwing that Maximum Ride, the Angel Experiment, and actually I can just grab that right here. It's a little bit thicker than the other one, but I got the audiobook for The Time Traveler's Wife, so I can listen to that on the drive instead of sitting down and reading it, so I might be able to get the books read. We shall see. So, obviously, I'm not good at reading the books that I've picked out. I already DNF'd Time Traveler's Wife. I just decided, not for me. So that'll be in my little cup of shame of books I didn't finish. I started Maximum Ride. What is it? I'm about 40 pages in, and I don't enjoy it as much as I did when I first read it, the series. I don't know if I ever actually finished the series, but I know for sure that I read Maximum Ride, Angel Experiment, and I really enjoyed it the first time I read it. This time it's kind of a drag, so I'm probably gonna have to institute like a 10 to 20 page a day reading this book until it picks up. But like circling back to my original comment of not being good at reading the books I've chosen, I have actually pulled out City of Ashes by Cassandra Clare, and that was because I found it on audiobook, and so I can listen to it, because it's a series I'm not super excited to be reading anymore, because I watched Carrie's videos on like giving the rundown, and so like I know what's gonna happen, but like I want to like actually read it because there's so many details that you miss in a recap video, even though hers are like 4 hours long. but I'm not a big fan of the incest trope, even though I know where it's going-ish. It makes me super, super uncomfy. And so I think, like, I'm stubborn, so I'm going to finish the series. Maybe, hopefully. But I think I'm going to rehome all the books afterwards, because I do not, unless something changes in the middle of the series, I do not see myself ever reading it again. It's more of, hey, I read the Mortal Instruments. But yeah. And for that one, I'm actually halfway through the book because I'm listening to it on audio. Chewy, that's not very helpful right now. Anyways, I'm more than halfway through the book, or just halfway through the book. I'm at chapter 13, page 248, which I guess I've read to 247. And poor Simon. Clary's kind of... Unfortunately, there's not really much special about her. And so it's like, why are we following you? I do know, like, she can pull stuff out of drawings if it's been put in there. And she can also, like, she has a special power with her stelae where she can create new runes. I think that's what they're called. But, yeah. So, once I finish these books, I will draw more and hopefully have more entertaining commentary to give you, because these are rough books. Yeah. Okay. I finished City of Ashes. It was okay. It got better when the focus wasn't on, oh, he's my brother, she's my sister. When the focus was on the actual plot and Valentine and the fight on the boat, top tier. It was actually really good writing. I just, like I was saying earlier, I'm not a big fan of the incest trope thing. Spoilers for future in the series. So, Jace thought he grew up as Jace Wayland, and then Valentine pretended to be his father and made him take, like, Jonathan Wayland's like, identity. But really, he's a Herondale, which means he's the grandson of the Inquisitor that gave her life for Jace. But, like, so they're not related. And I know this. But thinking that they're related and being so attracted to one another makes me so uncomfy on, like, just a molecular level. It's like, even though I know they're not related, like, it just feels icky. But then knowing what happens with her actual brother further on, I'm like, Cassandra, what are you doing? I hear that, like, the other series of the Shadowhunters are a lot better. But I have hope. Because I think in the next book they find out that they're not related. So maybe, like, they won't be so... Maybe, I hope. But, yeah, I rated it 2 stars. But it is finally read and technically, like, off my shelf. I'll put in the next book, but really it's going to be whenever the hold comes in, because I got the audiobook as well, just in case it's hard to get through, like this one was. Not because it's necessarily bad writing, but like I was saying, the incest, just not for me. Not for me. But I have hope. Okay, so last time we left off, I was not having a good time with Maximum Ride. Well, I am happy to report that I'm enjoying it a little bit more. We just, spoilers, broke free from the school and are kind of on the run, deciding to go east. And so I really don't remember a lot of what's going on now. I didn't even remember that they got caught and taken to the school. I thought that happened at, like, the end of the book, but I didn't realize that it was about halfway through. Anyways, so I'm interested to see where it's going, because now everybody knows like who their parents were, kind of, or like knows what happened to the parents. Like they either died or thought that they're like one of the flock died, so they weren't looking for their kids. Everyone except Max. And I can't remember, and I could be pulling this out of nowhere, but isn't Jeb somehow related to her? I could be completely off base, but I'm vaguely remembering something about her. Like, I don't know, but we're gonna find out. But that's just the update. Okay, so I did it. I finished Maximum Ride, The Angel Experiment. It was better than I thought it would be when I first started reading, because I was a little bit of a hater. I mean, obviously it's not written for my age group, so I have to remember that. And it's definitely, you can tell the time it was written, because like, I mean, I guess most teenagers, like when you write them, you got to make them like edgy or like hate the world, even though that's not true for all teenagers, but it's a typical stereotype. But spoilers, I was kind of right. Maybe. I don't remember anything else in the series, but Jeb might be her father, or like her and Ari might have been related and not actually Jeb's children. I don't know. It's interesting, but I don't know. Like I wasn't super emotionally invested in the characters, but I did want to cry when Ari died, because he didn't choose that life, and he was kind of trying to make the most of what he was put in, and like also he had genes grafted into him, like so he wasn't who he was anymore. Like he wasn't the young 3-year-old he was when they knew him. And I mean, it's easy to resent people who get to have freedom and you don't, unfortunately. But it was really sad, like that they were both shocked that he like his neck got snapped. I don't know how like the dying process happens, like if it's really quick after you snap your neck or what, but I'd have to figure out if that was realistic for him to be talking after his neck got snapped. But I mean, I guess he's a mutant, so it doesn't have to necessarily be realistic. But I mean, that was really sad. And then like her finding out that that might have been her brother and she killed him. I mean, they just glossed over the fact that she killed someone. There was no time spent on that at all. And I guess maybe it's going to be talked about a little bit more in the next book. But dang. Yeah. Let's draw another one. Let's see. It's a big one. Ah, this is a huge book. Let's see. That's The Chemist. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. All right, here she is. So we're gonna see if I like her writing or not, or if I just liked the Twilight series, because I've never actually read anything of hers outside of the Twilight series, but I do have this and The Chemist on my shelves to read. So hopefully it's good. Let's see how many pages it is. Ooh, it's a thick book. It is almost 600 pages. It is 594. That is a lot of pages. What is that? Oh, no. Don't worry. It's longer than that. Okay, there's the epilogue. Okay. Here we go. It's 619 pages. Forgive me. So literally, let's see. Where's the first page of writing? So from here to here, that is the 613 pages. But hopefully it's good, and hopefully it's not another DNF. We'll find out. Okay, I'm on page 13, and I have some theories. I mean, obviously something went wrong with the soul implantation or this
human was more strong-willed than they had assumed. I don't think that either party is necessarily wrong. I do think the hosts, or whatever the souls are an invasive species, but like they need a host to live, and that unfortunately has become the human. And I think it would be better if like the human and the soul like agreed to work together, and so that they but anyways, my theories, like obviously the human was a part of like a rebellion or something against the souls that were coming and taking bodies hostage, basically killing off that human, right? Because they take away the consciousness, and that soul now inhabits that body, right? And so I don't remember what I was saying, but I think there's like a rebellion, and somehow this soul in this body, like the human, I think she's gonna maybe get some more control over the body, and so they're gonna have like a fight between the two. I'm interested to see what happens. Let's see what it's Melanie Strider refuses to fade away. Our world has been invaded by an unseen enemy. Humans become hosts for these invaders, their minds taken over while their bodies remain intact, and continue their lives apparently unchanged. Most of humanity has succumbed. When Melanie, one of the few remaining wild humans, is captured, she is certain it is her end. Wanderer, the invading soul who has been given Melanie's body, was warned about the challenges of living inside a human, the overwhelming emotions, the glut of senses, the too vivid memories. But there was one difficulty Wanderer didn't expect: the former tenant of the body refusing to relinquish possession of her mind. Wanderer probes Melanie's thoughts, hoping to discover the whereabouts of the I haven't read it yet. Okay. The remaining human resistance. Instead, Melanie fills Wanderer's mind with visions of the man Melanie loves, Jared, a human who still lives in hiding. Unable to separate herself from her body's desires, Wanderer begins to yearn for a man she's been tasked with exposing. This is weird. I don't know how I would feel about someone else inhabiting my body and wanting the guy that I love. Anyways, when outside forces make Wanderer and Melanie unwilling allies, they set off on a dangerous and uncertain search for the man they both love. Yeah. Very essence of what it means to be human. Yeah. So, if you just read the synopsis, your theories kind of get proven. So, it looks like I have finished The Host. If I sound funny, I am sorry. I am not feeling that great. My allergies have been kicking my booty. So, The Host. It was definitely not exactly what I expected. I'm not sure what exactly I expected. But it was good. It was a little slow, but I mean, the book made me cry. So, like, I think in all, it was a good book. I think it really touched on some of the darker parts of human nature. Not like by showing blood and gore and stuff like that, but just, you know, the distrust that humans can have towards each other and other things that they don't understand. Now, were they super wrong in feeling like they had been annihilated and that it was war? No. But I mean, for a species that, like the souls, that don't have a like concept of like colonization or like that they're taking away someone's free will, like they didn't have that concept. And so like I believe if the souls knew what they were doing, like, and understood like the repercussions, that they wouldn't do it, you know. But then like it comes to what makes the humans have more right to live than this other species. Just very interesting food for thought. And I decided for this video, just one more book, and then we'll close out this video, because I think I've read three or four in this. So let's round it off and let's pick out another book. Definitely not the best lighting, but I'm a little lazy to be setting anything up right now. So shake, shake, shake. Open. Hoping for a fun one. Okay.
Let's see. Oh dear. Okay. Looks like that's what we're doing. And actually, it's like right here. Opposition. I knew I was going to have to come back to this baby sometime soon before I forgot all of the world building and stuff. But I was not expecting this. But hey, happy accident. Serendipitous. All right. Well, we'll be reading Opposition by Jennifer Armentrout. And that will be the last one for this little TBR Tackle. I feel like we haven't made even a dent. But it's only like 70 books. So I think that's pretty good. Okay. So we finished Opposition, which will be bringing this video to a close. But basically, Opposition is the final book in the Lux series. There is one after called Oblivion, but it's basically the first book from Demon's perspective, and so it doesn't really count. So this wraps up the 5-book series. It does have a prequel, and obviously the one after. So there's 7 books, but in like the main story, there's 5 books, and this is the last one. So we follow Cat and Demon. We left off in the last book. All these Luxen came to Earth, and we learn at the beginning of this book that they're trying to invade. They're forcefully assimilating, which means they're killing people and taking their DNA and assimilating it. And basically, you just follow that story. I think this had to be the most disappointing of the series. But I mean, that's what happens when you stay in a world too long, in my opinion. But now I know what happens before the Origin series. I'm not, like, I was sad. Like, it took me so long to get to this. One, because I put it in the TBR box, but also I didn't really care to finish the series because I didn't really care for how the last book had gone. But I'm glad I have finished the series. And, you know, like, I've already started buying the sprayed edges. So even if I don't like this book, I will get the entire series and the sprayed edges because, you know, you have to have all the series together. I'm just one of those people. But if you like aliens, and hot aliens at that, and like an enemies to lovers, and then lovers for the rest of the books, pretty much, then you will like this series. I haven't really looked into it, but this is one of the first like alien book series that I've seen. Like, I've seen parallel worlds and a lot of sci-fi, but I haven't seen like aliens assimilating into human culture and stuff like that. So it was a cute book. It says it's a teen book, like entangled teen. I think it's more towards adult because like we do have some scenes that I don't necessarily think are the most appropriate for teenagers. And just because I read it when I was a teenager, like inappropriate scenes and stuff like that, doesn't mean that it's okay. Like, not a do as I say, not as I do type of thing, but like, I wish I hadn't, because it affected, anyways, doesn't matter. Anyways, so this was my last book, and that brought us up, let's see. We did 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we did 6 books. So we did Opposition. Okay, let's get going. We had Opposition. We did The Women of Christmas, although I didn't talk about that in this video. But that's a Christmas video that has already come out by the time that this comes out. So if you want to see what that's about, go watch that one. We did Maximum Ride, Angel Experiment. Host, or The Host by Stephanie Meyer. City of Ashes, yes, Cassandra Clare. And Short Second Life of Bree Tanner by Stephanie Meyer. Oh, we got 2 Stephanie Meyers this month. This has been a little bit in the making. I'm trying to figure out how I want to do these videos. But yeah, I think for our first read it or unhaul it type thing, we did pretty good. I did decide to unhaul The Time Traveler's Wife. I had pulled it and I was super excited about it because I was like, oh, I'm gonna read the book and then I'll watch the movie, but it made me uncomfortable. Very
like very soon in, and so I was just like, you know, we're just gonna get rid of it. So that has been that helped grow my unhaul pile to 2 books, and I found others that I'm gonna get rid of too, so it's now at 4 books. But you know, I think this has been successful. I like at least knowing what's on my shelf and reading it, and whether I'm gonna decide to keep it or not. Like, I don't know if I'll ever read The Host again, but like, we'll decide a little bit later because I at least finished it, so we'll see. Thank you so much for watching this odd TBR reading or Unhaul It challenge type thing. Once I figure out the format that I want to go with, like, hopefully it gets a little bit more consistent to where I actually know what I'm doing. But thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking your time to watch this video and hang out with me. If you could like, subscribe, and share, ring the notification bell, and yeah, thank you so much for joining me and helping me tackle this TBR box, even though it feels like it's just continuing to grow because I keep buying books, but a lot of the books that I had read are in a series, and so I had to go put the other books back in. But you know, such hard problems, right? Well, I will see you in the next. Bye.